a rich tradition of service in this country, but somehow along the way, we have forgotten our value proposition. And Senator Sanders' boldness to go from state to state to state, bringing the message of hope, bringing the message of revolution. It took great courage, but also compassion. He is a man who is honest and consistent. All we have to do is roll the tape. And Senator Sanders has been saying the same thing for the last 40 years. He is bold in every single way. You know, when I got the phone call to represent, and I think it was Nick who called me, you know what I'm saying? The senator wants me to come to his backyard and speak on his behalf. A sister was showing enough honor. Can I just say that? He encouraged me. To support a man who was the doer of the deed. I remember about 8 or 9 months ago, my husband, who was here with me, he said, "Baby, I think that there's another candidate for you. That he has the same righteous indignation about the uplift of people that you do. You ought to take a look at this senator." And I knew Vermont, I knew something about him, just as I know about Senator Leahy and other senators. You know, you pay attention to that stuff when you are in the elected ministry. But it wasn't until I dug a little deeper that I saw a man that you all are blessed to know and have in your presence, but somebody who has been living his values even from the young age of 21 years old, a young Jewish man at the University of Chicago who dared to stand up against that university's racism and discrimination against African American students. He has been a doer of the deeds all of his life. And who, like Chairman Curtis, when it was not popular to stand up for our gay sisters and brothers, stood up for them in the 70s, a doer of the deeds? And who in the 80s, when Reverend Jesse Jackson was running, was one of very few white elected officials who endorsed him, a doer of the deeds? And he took his message across this nation, and in a very short period of time, reminded folks that we can dream bigger, we can reach higher, that we do deserve in this country a nation that represents the interests of the 99. He is a doer of the deeds. And so when I juxtaposition all of the things that Senator Bernie Sanders has been fighting for all of his life, when I thought about my life, having a mother who died at the young age of 42 years old, with her dreams deferred, being 22 years old, the oldest of 7 children, and my baby sister was 12, and I thought about my mother, how hard she fought and she worked, but she just didn't quite cut it. And that not only did she die at the age of 42 years old, she died on the system of welfare. She did not have a life insurance policy, and she had no money in the bank. When I had a flashback about this woman who loved all 7 of her children, but she fell short in life, like so many people do, who try and strive each and every day, who deserve and depend on people who are in the elected ministry, who care more about them than they care about the next election. When I juxtaposition my life story to what this man was fighting for, there was no doubt in my mind who I had to stand with, and that was Senator Bernie Sanders.